Hey everyone, it's Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first video. Happy to have you here. I do quite a few different nail tutorials, and Ohora has been kind of a frequent guest in my nail content. I love their designs. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I love their designs and how just syrupy and really pretty they are, and they have a lot of different options. But the one thing I kind of didn't love about Ohora is that sometimes after a week, sometimes before a week, my nails at the cuticle line would start catching hair. And nothing I tried really seemed to fix that problem for me. It's been a little bit better this year in 2023 and 2022. I do think maybe they updated their formula a little bit, but it still was not perfect. Well, recently I tried a new to me little trick that was just a game changer. So I thought I'd do another Ohora tutorial video, show you that trick, show you the little thing I bought for under 10 bucks that makes a huge difference. And my last manicure, I did that before vacation, and I had it on for almost 2 weeks, and I had absolutely no snagging at all at the cuticle, at all. In fact, they looked so good, and when I took them off, the reason I took them off is just because my nails looked grown out and because I was tired of the design. They just lasted so well. So I'm going to show you what I did. If you're new to Ohora or semi-cured do-it-yourself nails in general, what these are real gel. They are semi-cured, so they're not fully cured. They're soft and bendable. You apply them to your nails, cure them under a lamp. They harden all the way, and supposedly you're done. A lot of nail tutorial videos put out by the brands, not just Ohora, but others as well, make it look like a 2-minute process, and a lot of the times in the videos, I can see that the nails are not applied properly, that they're not the right size, or they're overlapping the cuticle, but everybody just brushes past that and kind of acts like that's how it's supposed to be. But if you do that, if you apply them that way, they're not going to last. You're going to have snagging and all kinds of things. So I have a technique that I use that I do basically for all nail strips. I've been doing different nail strips at home for close to 9 years now, I think. I thought I perfected it, to be honest, but now I found this new little way to make it even better. I always start by pushing back the cuticle. I prefer a metal cuticle pusher. I will put links for everything I'm using in the description box. And even if your cuticles don't look like they're overlapping your nails, I still recommend pushing them back gently, because sometimes there's what's called an invisible cuticle, just a really thin layer of skin there, and that can really mess with your application, because if any of the sticker goes over your skin, right there you're going to have lifting. Maybe not on the first day, but you will have lifting there. Ohora includes prep pads in their kit. I don't remember if I like these or not, to be honest, but most of the time I find they included pre-moistened prep pads that brands put in, just not that great. I prefer regular little alcohol prep pads because they're nice and saturated. I use that to completely degrease the nail, and also if anything was scraped off during that cuticle pushing stage, there are any little bits of loose skin or debris or anything like that, this wipes them off physically. Don't mind my yellow nails. I was cooking korma today, which featured a lot of spices and turmeric, and that's what made my nails yellow. It's not from nail strips. It's not from Ohora. If applied and removed properly, they should not discolor or damage your nails. The next step is to choose the right strips for you, the right size. The cuticle line is going to be this side, and then toward the tip is this side. Ohora very conveniently marks that for you on the package, which is nice. Each sticker has an individual little cover sticker over the top of it, a clear one. You do have to remove that before you apply them. These are stretchable. You can take the sticker off and then pull it side to side to make it a little bit wider. But I prefer to just try and find the size that will fit me without doing that if I can. I understand not everybody's going to be able to do that. It just depends on your nail size and shape. Peel it off. And if you have to choose between slightly too big and slightly too small, choose slightly too small, because again, don't want any overlapping. So put it on like this. Press it down. Here's one of my optional tools, and I do get criticism on some of my videos, although not recently, that I have a lot of unnecessary steps and this isn't a true review of the product. I wouldn't say this is meant to be a demo of the product exactly how it comes out of the box. Sometimes for sponsored collaborations or specific campaigns, brands will say, okay, don't show or don't use anything other than what we send you. Do not use any off-brand or different brand lamps. Do not use any top coats that are not our brand, etc., etc. But here, this is how I actually do it, and this is what I do. I use one of these things. It's a rubber tip cuticle pusher, and I use that to smush down the sticker, and then I trim the excess using manicure scissors because that is more precise for me than using clippers. I'm going to do the rest of the hands off camera because it's incredibly difficult to keep the camera in focus and talk and do this at the same time. My hand is a little further away from me than it normally would be, but the secret weapon trick comes right after this step. I was on my merry way with the application, and then I ran into a nail that I need to stretch, so I will show you that now. This is a little bit too narrow for my index finger. It's only a little bit too narrow. I peeled it off carefully. I'm going to hold the edge, again, carefully, and grab the other edge and just tug slightly. This will not make it 2 sizes bigger or anything like that, but it adds that much needed millimeter that is the difference between the nail looking like it belongs on your fingers and it looking like you have a huge gap. A little bit of a gap between the skin and the stickers, okay, most people won't notice, but if there's a big gap, it really bothers my inner perfectionist. And now you can see that it lays there pretty darn perfectly. And again, I'm going to trim it. Do not try to file these before you cure them. Some instructional videos that I've seen show people trimming these, then filing, then curing under a lamp. Do not do that. I tried that the very first time I applied these back in 2020, and it is so difficult to file them before they're cured because they're pliable. It's like trying to file a soft sticker. Don't worry if something looks imperfect. You can see right here, some of my nail is sticking out. You can see that. Instead of just cutting and cutting and cutting and making it shorter and shorter and shorter, I'm just going to leave that. After I cure it, I will just file this down to where it's all one length and nothing is sticking out. I'm done with the application. These do not look the best right now, and that's okay because I haven't filed them, I haven't cured them. All I did was put them on and sort of roughly trim them. Okay, I promised you a secret weapon. Here it is. I am in a Dashing Diva Facebook group, and if you've seen my MLM Dashing Diva videos where Dashing Diva tried to become an MLM, it's a whole mess. It is so entertaining to look back at now. There's so much gaslighting and drama and public outrage, all kinds of stuff. Check that out if you haven't seen it. It's a 2-part video. But in that group, people kept talking about a Squish Light. Now, what is a Squish Light, you ask? Well, it's a little tool. It's this thing. There's a UV LED light in there, and then a silicone soft squishy thing right here, a topper. And mine came with a couple extras in case you rip or damage this one. And then there's a little lid, and then there are batteries that go inside. Okay, here's what we're going to do. This applies both light and pressure at the same time. I turn it on, I smush it down on the nail. Not too hard. Some people have said that their nails ripped up the squishy part of the light, and I'm guessing that's maybe people with really long nails or people who like sharper shapes like the stiletto shape or the square shape. Mine are sort of a squirrel right now. And the goal here isn't to cure the nail all the way necessarily. I do think you still need a regular light, also a regular nail lamp. But this is just the first step to really make that nail adhere super well, that sticker adhere super well to your natural nail. Look at it. I don't know how well this translates on video, but that cuticle line is impeccable. It is really on there. Even comparing to this one, and on video it does look pretty much the same. But sometimes in the past, after I've cured my nails under a lamp, just the normal way without squishing them like this, I could see that the cuticle line was almost coming up a little bit. Just a tiny bit, maybe nothing noticeable to people who are not me, but my inner perfectionist could really see it. This Squish Light, I don't do it very long, and it doesn't have a timer built in, so it just stays on. All I do is squish it around for a few seconds on each nail. And after I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and stick these under a lamp to fully cure them, because apparently not fully curing nails is one of the big issues with how long they wear. Ohora recommends a couple of rounds under the light. I think Dashing Diva Glaze, same thing. So this again is just a first step. And before you say, well, that's another additional step, it's fine if you don't want to do that, or maybe your nails are shaped in a way that you don't have snagging at the cuticle issue at all. Maybe just using a regular lamp is completely okay for you. That's fine. Do whatever works for you. Or if you prefer a salon and you have time and funds and desire for that, go for it. I do not have the time, the funds, or the desire to go to the salon. And if I'm sitting down doing nails outside of filming them, I usually sit down on my couch, completely relaxed, recline, the kids are in bed, put on some show. I'm watching New Amsterdam right now. And I do these, and adding even 5 extra minutes, which this is not going to be 5 minutes, but adding even 5 extra minutes to my application process, it's really not a big deal for me, because the main thing I want out of my nails is I want them to last at least about a week and a half, 2 weeks preferably, and not just last, but also last well. I want them to look good. I want them to not catch my hair. I don't want any food or spices getting stuck under them while I cook or just go about my life. And I do try to be a little bit mindful of my nails. I don't use my nails as tools. I don't scrape at things with them. I don't open cans with just my nail. But I don't want to baby them either. I finished curing these. I did 2 rounds of 1 minute each round for each hand to make sure that these are really, really cured. And then I filed them. I like this coarse file that I have here. It's not the prettiest, but I like that one. I filed a little bit off and just made them nice and smoothed out. And then I had that little issue on this finger where the sticker and the nail were not quite the same length. I fixed that. You could technically very easily stop here. I like to do one extra step. This is not a new step. If you've seen my other tutorials, you already know this step. I apply a UV top coat, so a top coat that has to also be cured under a lamp. The main reason I do that is to secure the tips, because that's where, other than the cuticle, that's your other little high-risk area where you could have peeling and snagging and that kind of thing. I've been testing this top coat. It's by Alice & Bella. It's a new brand. Their founder sent me this and some nails to try. I will be trying the nails as well, but for now I'm just been using the top coat. It's a really nice top coat. Not a sponsored video. They do sell these on Amazon or about to. I'll put a link in the description box. It is a no wipe top coat, meaning when you're done curing, it feels dry and glossy. It doesn't have that tacky layer that some of the top coats have that you have to wipe off with a rubbing alcohol wipe. I take a little bit on the brush, and then the first thing I do is seal the free edge, and that's the edge of the nail that is not attached to your cuticle line. The point here is to completely cover both the nail edge and the sticker to make them one cohesive unit. And the reason that I always start with a free edge is because it does create a little thickening right here on the end when you apply polish, and if you do that last, that thickening will stay and you'll have this weird little bulge. It's not super noticeable here with the design, but on the solid plain nails it is noticeable. And then I go and cover the rest of the nail, being careful not to go on the skin, and that smoothes out that little bulge. I don't know how many times I can say bulge in one video. This might be a personal record. I do that with the rest of the nails, cure them under a lamp just for 1 minute, and I am done. I am wearing UV gloves, if you're wondering. Just don't want any extra aging on my skin from the lamp. I've had these for years. Sometimes people make fun of that too. People really have a lot of commentary on the videos that have like nothing to do with the actual content of the video. Alright, I'm really happy with this cuticle tip of the Squish Light because it's pretty simple and it doesn't feel like a lot of work. It's a little bit of extra time, but it's not that much work to hold it on each nail for a bit, and it doesn't require a lot of pressure. The other tip that I've seen, and I've been seeing it since maybe 2021, is the acetone trick. That's what people call it, the ohora acetone trick. And it's basically taking a little capful of pure acetone, dipping a tiny angle brush into it, and then going over the cuticle line of the sticker after it's applied to your nail with that acetone solution to thin it out a little bit, and supposedly that really helps the cuticle part stay down really nicely. I never tried it. I have pondered it, I've considered it, but honestly, that one sounded like too much work. I've seen a couple videos on it, and it just seemed like such a huge pain in the butt, to be honest, to do that. So I decided not to even try that, and I just thought, well, I can deal with a little bit of snagging. And again, in the later years, like in more recent years, since 2020, it has been better. So maybe the nails are just designed a little bit better now, but it still wasn't perfect. Now, though, I feel like it is indeed absolutely perfect based on how my last manicure went. These are done, and look how extra shiny they are now with the top coat. And then pay attention to the free edge. You see how even that is shiny because it's all one unit now. And I just love how these turn out. Obviously, it's a little bit more of a fall design, and we had a 75-degree day today, but I'm honestly not ready for summer. I'm just not. I had a more summery design with waves on it, or wave-like things, last week, or for almost 2 weeks. But I really felt like putting these on today, and they are so beautiful. I feel like Ahora's big-time competitive advantage for sure are their designs, because they're so beautiful. I would say probably my favorite from the aesthetic perspective, even though sometimes in the past the application has not been the most perfect because of that whole cuticle thing. But the Squish Light really fixed that, and the one I had cost me, I think, around $7. But I'll put the link to the one I have in the description box. Otherwise, Amazon has a bunch of them, just all different ones, and you can have double packs and whatever. I wasn't really sure if it was going to be any good, so I didn't want to buy a double pack. I'm not sure how long it will last, as far as, you know, maybe it'll break eventually, I don't know. But it is working really well for now, and I have not ripped up that little silicone thing. It's been holding up just fine for me. So this is what they look like. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. I try to get back to everybody. And if you have any suggestions for the brands that I should try, anything that's been on your radar, anything you've been loving, or if you have any tips on how to get these even better, or maybe how to shorten the process, or anything, let me know, because obviously there's still more to learn. I really thought that I had the process down, and I never even knew what Squish Lights were. Also, forgot to mention, if you are shopping on the Ahora's USA website, they have a USA one now, which is awesome, because when I bought them in 2020, I had to spend $80 or pay $18 in DHL shipping to get them. But with the USA website, it's much cheaper than that, and you can get 15% off your order with my code Lucy. So check that out. It is an affiliate code. I will make a small percentage off of your sale in the spirit of full disclosure. But I always appreciate when people use my codes if you're already shopping. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope to see you in my next video. In the meantime, you can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com, and in my private Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics. We just hit 81,000 members, which is just incredible. I cannot believe it grew that big. So if you're not already in there, please come join. Again, thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video, and please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much. Bye.